Hey everybody, I'm just taking a break while clearing some manure. I have a bunny helping me. You see, he tells me where he thinks there's too much manure. Hi, Yang. So, I've got pretty big news, but pretty sad news. Um, as some of you might know, some of my rabbits are getting quite old. Um, and the two oldest are gone. Faro, I had to euthanize last week. For a few months now, he had a side of his face that was paralyzed, and then within 1 week, he developed a cataract on his good side. Like, it crystallized, and like 3 days later, it was opaque, like really fast. And that was his good side. And the other side, well, the eye was fine, but because he was paralyzed, he couldn't close his eye anymore and started getting a lot of secretion. And when I came the other day, the paralyzed side was much worse, and I mean a lot worse. And after taking a look at him, I just felt like he was not having, like, his quality of life was just not great anymore. He could eat, but he didn't want to move. He lost some weight too, and he just didn't feel right. So I euthanized him, and then so that was last week, and I was already pretty upset with that. But then yesterday I had to euthanize Nikita. Nikita was my oldest rabbit. She's the one that I kept in my room permanently because she couldn't maintain her body temperature right. And so she couldn't be outside because regardless if it was heat or cold, she would have issues. And now for the past year, I'd say, she had basically stopped producing fur. She was half naked. And for a couple of months now, she also started having blood in her urine. And, I'm telling all of this, all those symptoms, and you guys are gonna say, well, you should have taken them to a vet. And I'm like, Bunny's life expectancy is 10 years. And that's if they're lucky, because most rabbits don't make it to that age. Fado, I'm unsure how old he was, but he was at least 7. Nikita, same thing. I'm unsure on how old she was, but she was at least late 8 years, if not 9. So yeah, sure, you think take them to a vet when you see those symptoms, but I can't do that with all my rabbits. It would just end up being way too expensive, especially when you consider that they don't have much time left when they reach that point. So even if I went to a vet and had medication and whatnot, it's gonna gain them what, a year at most, and of limited quality of life. And Nikita 4 days ago stopped pooping, and she started having really bad lumps in her belly. Now Nikita always had in iffy digestive system. She was very fragile, and she would get diarrhea often. She was very gassy, and so I'm not surprised that that happened. But yeah, after 3 days, nothing, and she was very stinky, like really, really stinky, and she was in pain. It was very obvious that she was in pain. So, along with the blood in the urine, the obvious signs of decline, I euthanized her yesterday. And it hurts because those were two of my favorites. Obviously, they were two of my oldest. So, but you know, it happens. Yeah. So, I hope you guys understand. You know how upsetting that is to me. But it's bound to happen because when you have a lot of animals, and especially when most of them are getting older, stuff like that's gonna happen, you know? We don't want it to happen, but it's not much we can do about it, you know? So I decided there was too much hay over there. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna get back to it. I'm getting cold, so I gotta get moving again. Good boy. You're my assistant? Yeah. You're my assistant? By the way, just to show you, this is what I'm dealing with, that I have to take to the manure pile. Normally we use a wheelbarrow, but it's very slushy right now, and I'm just gonna shovel it all the way. So, yeah. See you, everyone.